The headlines the next morning were everywhere. The girl who made New York weep. A Filipino song silences the city. But before the world noticed, there was just the night. A biting November in New York City, the wind howling down Broadway. Inside the Beacon Theater, anticipation buzzed. The Global Voices Festival was a parade of world music, each act a polished performance. No one expected a single song to stop it all. The program simply read, Maria Chinara, Philippines. No fanfare, just a name. But inside, a hush was about to fall, a silence louder than any sound. They were about to witness something else, a confession, a prayer, a final goodbye. And it started with a girl, a small urn, and a promise to her father. Maria's story was about to begin, and nothing would be the same. Maria Chinara stood in the wings, small and almost invisible in her simple borrowed saya. She clutched a carved wooden box, her father's urn, her courage, her reason for being here. The stage manager signaled. Maria nodded, fear twisting in her stomach. This was the Beacon Theater. Legendary. Intimidating. She was a village girl from Batangas, taught music by her father's calloused hands, not in a conservatory. He'd always said, "Your voice is a gift. One day the world will hear it." She looked nothing like the other performers. No glitter, no entourage, just quiet resolve. She was grieving, her father gone just 2 months. This trip was supposed to be their victory lap. Now, she carried him in a box. He was supposed to be in the front row, clapping loudest. Instead, he was with her in spirit, in the song she would sing. The backstage chaos faded as Maria's name was called. She took a deep breath, stepped into the light, and carried her father's dream onto the stage. The world saw a nervous girl. She felt the weight of a promise. She was not just performing, she was saying goodbye. The city of dreams was about to hear a story it would never forget. Maria's journey began not with applause, but with memory and loss. She walked out, the urn in her hands, her heart on her sleeve. The moment was hers, and her father's. The world would listen, and she would sing. The box was warm in Maria's trembling hands as she walked to center stage. The spotlight isolated her, a single figure before a sea of strangers. She placed the urn gently beside her, a silent promise kept. "We are here, Papa," she whispered. The loss was raw, the memory of his final words fresh. "Sing our song, Maria. Don't let them forget us." This was not for fame or applause. It was a eulogy. She sat, hands clasped, searching for a friendly face in the darkness. The crowd was restless, waiting to be entertained, unaware of her story. To them, she was just another act. But her song was in Tagalog, a language foreign to most. How could she make them feel what she felt? Her father's voice echoed, "Music is the language of the soul. It needs no translation." He believed a song could bridge any divide. Maria closed her eyes, picturing her father on their porch, humming the melody. She was home, not in New York. With the weight of her promise, she brought the microphone to her lips. The theater faded away. She began to sing, her heart leading every note. This was her father's dream, and her final gift to him. The world would hear their story. The promise would be fulfilled. Maria sang, and the night changed. Forever. The first note was soft, clear, a single teardrop in the air. Maria sang Anak, a Filipino classic, but this was her version. Slower, mournful, intimate. The Tagalog lyrics flowed, English subtitles glowing on the screens. At first the audience was distant. Pretty melody, sad folk song. The language was a barrier, but Maria's voice grew stronger, her pain unmistakable. She wasn't performing, she was remembering. The song told of a child's journey, a parent's love, regret, forgiveness. For Maria, every word was a memory with her father. The audience began to change. Phones lowered, whispers stopped. They watched her face, saw the trembling hand, the tear on her cheek. The wall of language crumbled. They didn't need to understand Tagalog to feel grief. Her voice carried loss, love, and longing. The crowd became witnesses, drawn into her story. The song became a bridge, Maria's heart reaching theirs. Across that bridge, she sent a message of devotion. The theater was silent, united in emotion. The song was no longer just a song. It was a shared confession. Each verse blurred past and present. Maria was a child again, her father's arm guiding her on their porch. The song was their secret language, their bond, memories of his hospital bed, his pride, his final wish. Sing our song. He died holding her hand, the melody on his lips. The song's bridge arrived, a crescendo of regret and forgiveness. For Maria, this was the hardest part. Her father was gone, her return was to an empty home. This performance was her only way to say goodbye. Her voice soared, desperate and powerful, singing to the ghost in the melody. He was there, in the spotlight, the silence, the urn. She poured love and grief into the final notes. The song became their story, a dream built together, fulfilled alone. The last lines were a plea to the heavens. The audience felt the question, "Will you remember?" Maria's answer was in every note. The ghost listened. The transformation was quiet, then overwhelming. Tears spread from the front row to the balcony. Critics, couples, strangers, all moved. The critics stopped judging. They simply felt. Maria's grief became a mirror, reflecting everyone's own heartache. Even the backstage crew was silent, tears in their eyes. The show's machine had stopped. A sacred stillness took its place. When the final note faded, the silence was absolute, deeper than applause. No one moved. No one breathed. Maria opened her eyes to a sea of tears. They hadn't just heard her song, they understood. In a city of strangers, she had shared her sorrow, and they wept with her. The silence was her standing ovation. The applause was gentle, a standing ovation of healing hands. Maria bowed, clutching the urn, and left the stage, her strength spent. Backstage, chaos erupted. Organizers, agents, media, all clamoring for her attention. But Maria sat quietly, holding the urn, lost in her own world. She had kept her promise, but at the cost of exposing her deepest pain. Then, a quiet knock. A frail old man entered, holding a white rose. He wasn't an agent or producer, just a face from the crowd. "May I?" he asked. Maria nodded. He placed the rose beside the urn, then showed her a faded photo of his late wife. "Your song." I could hear her voice again. "Thank you." He patted Maria's hand, eyes full of shared loss, and left. The room fell silent. The business cards and offers faded into the background. The old man's gift, a rose, a memory, a moment of humanity, was the only review that mattered. It was a gift from one grieving heart to another. Maria realized her song had reached beyond the stage. It had touched another soul. That was enough. The story exploded beyond the Beacon Theater. Cell phone videos of Maria's performance went viral. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. The hashtag #Tonner the Filipino song trended worldwide. People wrote, "I don't understand a word, but I feel everything." News channels replayed the clip. Critics struggled for words. "It was a communion," one said. Maria's story, her father, the promise, the urn, captivated the world. Invitations poured in. Sydney Opera House, Royal Albert Hall. One stood out, a festival in Kyoto where Japanese children would sing Anak with her. The song sparked a global conversation about love, loss, and music's power. Filipino music was suddenly in the spotlight. Maria watched from her hotel room, overwhelmed. Her father's dream had come true, magnified 1,000,000 times. The world wasn't just celebrating her voice, it was honoring his memory. The promise had echoed across the globe. Maria's homecoming was a hero's welcome. Applause, signs, pride. She was awarded honors, but the greatest reward was her people's love. After the ceremonies, she walked along Manila Bay at sunset, the urn in her hands. This was her father's view, his dream for her. She stood by the water whispering, "We did it, Papa." They heard us. The world had heard. A song of love and loss, now an anthem. Maria's performance reminded everyone, beneath our differences, we share the same heart. Love, loss, hope. They unite us all. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Maria held the urn close. Her father's dream was complete. In the quiet twilight, a daughter's promise found peace. The story ended where it began, with love and a song. And the world listened.